Well, hello and welcome back. This is Cavallo from Datingadviceguru-dot-com. Will no contact make a guy move on? If you don't know what the no contact rule is, we're about to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you whether or not he's going to forget about you if you use it. And before we get started, don't forget, big three you got to do. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn on the notifications, and please leave me your comments below. Tell me what videos you want me to make, what questions you got. So the question is, will no contact make him move on? The no contact rule is a concept that I first published many years ago, and it's actually widely misunderstood. Right up front, I'm going to tell you that guys don't just forget about you. I'll just tell you that right now. We men are very heartfelt just as much as women are. But you're right if you're wondering if the no contact rule might mess things up. So what is the no contact rule? And will no contact make him move on or lose interest in you? Well, simply stated, the no contact rule is used during a breakup or if you're having a timeout with your boyfriend in a relationship. This is where you and he have decided to take a little break from the relationship or after things have ended. And we use this no contact rule so that you don't scare him back off again if you show up at his house 3 days after you decided to take your break. So why the no contact rule? Well, we use this rule so that you don't scare him back off again. If you show up at a guy's house 3 days after you decided to take your break, he's going to feel that you're being a little pushy, a little bit insecure. And you know what? He'd probably be right. The key to getting your ex back is that you have to give him more space than he actually wants right in this moment. What you're doing is setting things up to return to the relationship later, because the only way this guy is going to want to come back into your loving arms is if he sees that you've actually changed a little bit, that you're different after this no contact break than you were before. He has to see this change in you. And the reasons are that, number one, you're letting him cool off a little bit during this whole no contact session. If he broke up with you or if he was the one that asked for a break, he's feeling very activated and you need to give him a chance to chill out. Number two, you're raising his response potential. By building up some anticipation in him, he's going to be much more responsive to you when the time comes around. And number three, he has to feel your absence. Directly related to number two is the fact that every day that you're not around him, his emotions and memories are going to keep nagging at him that something's missing, something's not quite right. And that something, of course, is you. And frankly, most people don't really understand how to use the no contact rule in the right way. It's not that you're just going to cut him off and hope that he comes running or crawling back to you. You have to know how to do it in the right way. But first, let's dive into this fear and destroy it once and for all. The biggest insight you're going to gather is this one bit right here. Just ask yourself this one question. Why do you think he's going to forget about you or move on without you? This feeling comes from a very normal place in all of us that we don't like to admit exists. It's the scared little kid part of us that fears being abandoned and lost. I also call this the what about me part of our thinking and feelings. It's that little kid's voice inside us trying to get out. Hey, no one likes the idea of being forgotten or ignored. It just plain sucks to think about that. But the reality is that our fear will always make us think that we're somehow inadequate if we listen to what it's saying. Be real. Fear never tells you that you're awesome, right? Your fear never tells you that you deserve to have everything you want. Fear's job is to make you feel small and unworthy. It brings up your insecurities and then tells you to look them over in gory detail. Fear says,
"Hey, you know, he's probably already dating someone else."
And when we listen to that insecure voice, we're doomed, because not only is it lying to us, it's saying it in words that almost sound believable. Don't let the voice of insecurity push you into needy behaviors that scare him off. So, will no contact make him move on? Will he forget about you? The no contact rule works, but only if you're being truthful with yourself about where you are in the relationship right before it got to this breaking point. If he broke up with you because he was never all that connected to you to begin with, or maybe another woman entered the picture, it's going to be kind of messy. You'd be kidding yourself if you thought that space was all he really wanted, right? He took this opportunity to break things off and leave. He was de-escalating. Or if he called it a timeout, he's really just playing with words. He's probably planning to end it. So be sure you take a long, hard look at how much of a relationship you had before you start using the no contact rule. In order for the rule to work, he has to be in love with you. All right, so what are you supposed to do during the no contact time? I hear this question quite a bit, and that is, what do you do while you're waiting? Well, the first thing you need to do is stop waiting. Stop waiting on him. Go live your life. If you spend a couple of weeks doing nothing but thinking about him, planning out your future, imagining every little detail of your marriage, basically living in a fantasy, if you spend your time doing that instead of living your life, he's not going to come back to you. He'll smell desperation all over you, and that will only lead to another final breakup. Take this time to get moving towards your personal goals. Get back to work or school, or get to work on that degree, get to the gym, start working off a few pounds, or just get toned and fit. Get to that writing class you've put on hold. Get working on that novel. Go hang out with the girlfriends you might have neglected while you got wrapped up in this relationship. If you sit around for a few weeks in fantasy mode, you'll go straight out of your mind. It's time to not only distract yourself from him, but to use your time to improve your vibe for later on, when you actually break the no contact rule and finally start communicating with him again. Now, another thing you want to do is get back to your family and social life. I have yet to coach a woman who did not admit that she probably puts other people in her life on the back burner when she gets a new boyfriend. She puts her all into the relationship, and then she loses herself in it, like a dream she uses to escape the rest of the world. When a breakup occurs, she doesn't realize who she is anymore, because over time, she begins identifying herself in how her ex sees her and thinks about her. Again, the goal is to feel better about yourself without him during this no contact time period. Nothing makes you feel better than reconnecting with the people that mean the most to you. And in the worst case scenario where you don't get back together with him, you're going to be well on your way to being over him anyways. And that gives you all the power. Now, here's one thing you should not do during the no contact time. Do not abuse your social media presence. I see a lot of women that use social media, their Facebook, their Instagram, all those accounts as it's a side hobby of theirs when they're not with or near their boyfriend, right? When they're not with their boyfriend, they're on their phone. It's almost as if they turn to their phones the way a heavy smoker might run outside on a break to light up a cigarette. Now, don't get me wrong here. You do need to leverage social media to get him curious and to make sure he doesn't forget about you. You want him to bump into your cool life, but not the opposite. The first thing is that you don't want to be following him at all during this time period. Block him from appearing online so that you're not tempted to just go see what he's up to. That's going to end really badly. If he was posting about how much he was missing you, he'd just be telling you that. It's not going to be showing up online, okay? And anything he does post about is only going to make you want to hear him proclaim his love for you more. If you don't have a life preserver, don't go jumping into that lake. Let me give you some scary statistics about social media and breakups. 33% of people quoted a song lyric about their ex in their social media. 31% of people posted a picture in an attempt to make an ex jealous. 88% of people check up on their exes during using Facebook after a breakup. 64% of people overanalyze wall posts and messages from their ex. 50% of people delete their ex's picture after a breakup. And 70% of people admitted to using a friend to check up on their ex's Facebook profile. I'll tell you from experience that none of those things is going to work out the way you want them to. The one that's most likely to cause you great pain is this overanalyzing what he might post or say on his page. Your mind is already wired to look for any hint that he's still in love with you. Now, chances are that's true, but you looking for those signs actually says more about your state of desperation and emptiness than anything else. The truth is that he will probably be checking out your page. He will. Most guys simply don't have the self-discipline to not check in on you. And what he should be seeing are your posts of you going out and living your life. Just post things that say one thing and one thing only. I'm alive, I'm having fun, and I'm not stopping to dwell or brood about you, dude. That message alone is often enough to get a guy to reconsider your relationship. But again, you don't want to appear like you're trying to send that message to him. It should seem as natural as you can make it. Pictures of you at the beach with your girlfriends, that's cool. Pictures of you at new restaurants, but not of who you're with at those restaurants, that's cool too. The one thing you don't want is to post some picture of you with a random guy thinking that that's going to inspire him to come back to you. More than likely, it will make him think of you as being pretty basic and petty. So will no contact make him move on or forget about you? We come right back full circle to the biggest worry women have when they use the no contact rule. Is he going to forget about me? And how can I make sure he doesn't forget about me? You might even have come up with some devious ideas about how to keep him from forgetting about you, like putting your perfume on something and then sending it to him in the mail or leaving on his doorstep. Clever, but a little too obvious. So how do you do it? How do you keep him from moving on or forgetting about you? Keep the new and interesting flowing. The key to making the no contact rule work is to elevate your stock value in his eyes. You want him to feel stagnant and left behind. Make sure you're posting a lot of images of you looking at your best. New clothes, new hairstyle, or just an update to these things. Don't change too many parts. You don't want him to think you've totally freaked out, but you want him to remember what he fell in love with about you. When a guy sees a woman looking better than before and updating her image to be attractive, he's going to feel a little bit left in the dust. He's going to be second guessing his decision to take time off from you. And that's going to make him interested in trying again. Don't post anything that would communicate how lost or unhappy you are without him. That will scare him right off. Just focus on images and posts that tell the world that you're moving forward, making life happen. Another way for you to keep him from moving on or forgetting about you is to send a note. You see, you can break the no contact rule after a couple weeks, but it has to be done very carefully. One, you're going to put it in a letter or an email. This is to ensure that you can edit it, you can take time to say it, and say only what you need to say. Number two, it's a one-way communication, so it doesn't invite any need for him to respond to you right away. And number three, your letter must demonstrate how you're taking responsibility for your part in the problem you guys had. And number four, do not mention his flaws or how he contributed to the breakup. That's never going to get him to feel your love or really anything good. It's only going to get him to feel your resentment. This will open his heart. This note will open his heart and make him very receptive to you. Just don't expect an immediate response. This is only to start the flow of possible feelings from him so that he wants to reconsider later on. Now, the reality is that you need to know if he loves you, because if he didn't really love you, then all this work, this no contact rule, is just not going to work for you. Does he love you? Go find out. Go to the link you see below me here. That's datingadviceguru.com/does he love me. That's datingadviceguru.com/does he love me. And don't forget the big three. Make sure you subscribe to these videos. Make sure you turn on that notification bell, because you got to make sure you're going to know about it when they come out. Got one every week. And number three, make sure you comment below. Tell me what it is you want. Ask me your questions. I love seeing your comments. Hey, this is Cavallo from Datingadviceguru.com with these secrets to use the no contact rule the right way. I'll be talking again soon. As always, live and love with passion.